Ernesto Che Guevara, A Revolutionary Odyssey. Ernesto Che Guevara, the iconic Argentine revolutionary, is a figure whose name and image have become synonymous with the spirit of rebellion and the pursuit of social justice. Born on June 14, 1928, in Rosario, Argentina, Che Guevara would go on to lead a life that spanned continents and ideologies, leaving an indelible mark on the world. His journey from a young medical student to a key figure in the Cuban Revolution and a global symbol of revolutionary fervor is a story of profound significance and complexity. This biography of Che Guevara will explore the various phases of his life, his ideological evolution, and the impact he had on the world. Spanning from his early years in Argentina to his travels through South America, his involvement in the Cuban Revolution, his experiences as a diplomat, and his lasting legacy, this biography will shed light on the man behind the legend, Ernesto Guevara. Lynch, Che Guevara's father, was a proud Irish Argentine who instilled in his children a strong sense of their Irish heritage. His mother, Celia de la Serna y Llosa, hailed from a prominent family. Che was the eldest of 5 children and grew up in a comfortable middle-class household in Rosario. Che's upbringing was marked by the books in his father's library, which included works by Marx, Engels, and Lenin. These texts laid the intellectual foundation for his future revolutionary ideals. Additionally, his mother, Celia, encouraged social consciousness, instilling in him a sense of compassion and justice. In 1947, Che began medical school at the University of Buenos Aires. During this time, he embarked on a motorcycle journey across South America with his friend Alberto Granado. This expedition exposed him to the poverty, inequality, and suffering of the continent's marginalized populations, sparking a profound transformation in his worldview. Che's journey on the La Poderosa II, the Mighty One, with Alberto Granado, is famously chronicled in his journal, The Motorcycle Diaries. This trip was a pivotal moment in his life and marked the beginning of his revolutionary consciousness. As they traveled through countries like Chile, Peru, and Colombia, Che witnessed firsthand the stark disparities between the wealthy elite and the impoverished masses. These experiences deepened his commitment to social justice and set him on a path of radicalization. During their journey, Che and Granado also volunteered at a leper colony in Peru. This experience profoundly impacted Che as he came into direct contact with the suffering and marginalization of those afflicted with the disease. It solidified his resolve to dedicate his life to the service of the oppressed. After returning to Argentina in 1952, Che continued his medical studies but increasingly became involved in leftist political circles. Che's growing radicalism led him to oppose the authoritarian regime of Juan Domingo Perón in Argentina. He was particularly critical of Perón's alignment with conservative interests and the suppression of dissent. In 1955, Che left Argentina for Guatemala, where he met exiled Cuban revolutionary Fidel Castro. This meeting would prove to be a turning point in Che's life. He joined Castro's 26th of July movement and played a crucial role in the Cuban Revolution. Che's involvement in the Cuban Revolution was a defining chapter in his life. He became an integral part of the revolutionary forces that successfully overthrew the U.S.-backed Batista regime. In 1956, Che, Fidel Castro, and a small group of rebels set out on the yacht Grama from Mexico to Cuba to initiate the revolution. The journey was arduous, and they faced numerous setbacks, but their determination remained unbroken. Once in Cuba, Che and his comrades engaged in guerrilla warfare against Batista's forces. Che's tactical brilliance and commitment to the cause made him a key figure in the revolution. His book, Guerrilla Warfare, outlined his thoughts on revolutionary strategy. On January 1, 1959, the Cuban Revolution succeeded in toppling the Batista regime. Fidel Castro assumed power, and Che was appointed as a high-ranking official within the new government. His role in the revolution and his dedication to its principles earned him respect and admiration worldwide. After the revolution's victory, Che played a crucial role in reshaping Cuba's political and economic landscape. As the Minister of Industries, Che led efforts to implement sweeping agrarian reforms, which involved the redistribution of land from large landowners to peasants. These reforms aimed to address Cuba's historic inequalities in land ownership. Che also served as the president of the National Bank of Cuba and as Cuba's chief diplomat. His international travels and diplomatic efforts helped establish Cuba's relationships with other socialist countries and movements worldwide. Cuba's alignment with the Soviet Union and its socialist policies strained its relations with the United States, leading to the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. Che was a staunch advocate of Cuba's socialist path and its right to self-determination. While Che Guevara remained an influential figure in Cuba, he became increasingly restless and sought to spread the flames of revolution beyond the island. In 1965, Che announced his departure from Cuba, citing his desire to continue the revolutionary struggle worldwide. He expressed concern about the limited scope of the Cuban Revolution's impact and believed that true revolution required a global perspective. Che first traveled to the Congo to support revolutionary movements there. However, his efforts were hampered by political instability and lack of support. He later traveled to Bolivia, where he hoped to ignite a revolution, but this endeavor proved to be his most challenging and ultimately fatal. Che's time in Bolivia was fraught with difficulties, including lack of support from local populations and constant pursuit by Bolivian and U.S. forces. In October 1967, Che and his small band of guerrillas were betrayed and captured by the Bolivian army, with assistance from the CIA. He was wounded in combat and taken prisoner. On October 9, 1967, Che Guevara was executed by Bolivian soldiers under orders from the Bolivian government and with the knowledge of the U.S. government. His death marked the end of his physical presence in the revolutionary struggle, but not the end of his legacy. Che Guevara's legacy transcends his life. His image, his words, and his actions continue to inspire and provoke thought and debate worldwide. The photograph of Che taken by Alberto Corda in 1960, known as Guerrillero Heroico, has become one of the most recognizable images in the world. It adorns posters, T-shirts, and murals symbolizing resistance and revolution. Che's writings, including his diaries, essays, and speeches, continue to be studied and revered by activists, revolutionaries, and scholars alike. His commitment to Marxist-Leninist ideals, anti-imperialism, and global solidarity remains influential. While Che Guevara is celebrated by many as a symbol of rebellion and social justice, he is also a divisive figure. Critics point to his role in executions and his authoritarian tendencies while in power. His legacy is a subject of ongoing debate. Ernesto Che Guevara's life was a tumultuous and inspirational journey that traversed continents and ideologies. From his early years in Argentina to his travels through South America, his leadership in the Cuban Revolution, and his global influence as an icon of rebellion, Che's life remains a subject of fascination and controversy. His commitment to the cause of social justice and his unwavering dedication to the principles of revolution left an indelible mark on the 20th century. Whether revered as a hero or criticized as a controversial figure, Che Guevara's legacy endures as a symbol of the enduring struggle for a more just and equitable world.